Is it real? Is any of it real? Am I real? Wait, no. No, I'm real. Oh, what a relief. But yeah, the one thing I like about it is, one, this isn't really a spoiler, but I'm always going to say this because it's hilarious. But there's a section about, like, oh, you can create your own, like, thing. And it's to do with sort of, like, stories. They open up that, because they open up the theme with, like, oh, here's sort of the battle concept. You have this, that, and the other. The one thing I like about this is, one of the episodes deals with, and then you have these and these and these class of things. And it's like, don't worry, all of it is random. Luckily, all of it is random public around. Damn. We'll say how it is, man. It's like, sadly, we can't mention Big Hero 6. That's copyrighted. We might get sued. Luckily, all of these we can't. Just all the books. It's like, they just mention a couple of books, they don't come back. It's hilarious. It's like, this isn't even part of a story. You're just mentioning stories that exist. I find it funny. I know it's probably not funny, but I find it funny. But the one thing which I like, which I really think is interesting. But yeah, the one thing I like, which is spoilers, and you find out, is because you know about this sort of, you have these creatures that are somewhat real, not, you don't know if they're like, they've always been there, or there's a whole thing about it. It's really interesting about like how an experiment happened. This is not spoilers, but experiment happened that allowed people to see things that might not be there. And it's really interesting that, oh, have they always been there and we haven't seen them, or have we created them because of what we've had? And one of them is this sort of like person, or like sort of like fairy that follows them, which is fun. But one thing that I find is interesting is you find out at the end of Final Fantasy 1, the fairy is part of the main male protagonist, and it's sort of like part of them. They had to do a whole like sacrifice. They come back, she comes back, which I find is interesting. But I like the whole idea is like that they're together in that thing is really interesting and really funny. Well, not funny, but like, well, funny as in later when they do a joke, which is like, I'm your sibling. It's like, well, that's one way to put it, but jeez. They say it in such a funny way. But I like the idea that it's like, oh, we're part of the person, and it's hilarious. Well, it's hilarious and interesting. I'm mixing my words. So, I definitely recommend it. I think you would really enjoy. So, I hope you enjoy, and good night.